This program is sponsored by Numbers USA.
Warning, the following program has been rated T for truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, we think you can. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report with your host, truth warrior and mythbuster Kathleen Wells. The place where we distinguish fact from fiction, where data is used to drive points home, and where Kathleen takes the position that Democrats and black politicians have destroyed black America. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Now, your host, Kathleen Wells.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. I hope you guys are had a wonderful week. We're going into next week. Let's see. There will be there will be the primary for North Carolina. Let's see. This Representative James Clyburn foisted is the word I want to use, Biden on the American people. He is a disaster. He is a stain. Representative James Clyburn is a stain on America. Okay. First, let me talk about the fact that today I watched Quo Vadis. I hadn't seen that movie. As I said, in fact, the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks until the beginning of March, they're doing movies that won nominations. And Quo Vadis is one of the movies that won a nomination. And this was when the Roman emperors were punishing Christians. Okay, and the punishments were severe. The punishments meted out to Christians who admitted their religion and refused sacrifice vary enormously. In the first and early second centuries AD, Christians who were Roman citizens, including the Apostle Paul, were executed by beheading, which was quick and merciful. Later in the second century, beheading was a privilege to which only the highest ranking citizens were automatically entitled. The lesser sort, as they were known, were subject to more violent punishments. These included being crucified, burned to death, attacked by beasts. That's what they showed in the movie Quo Vadis, how Christians were in the Colosseum and being attacked by lions and a bull. Being condemned to the beast was a particularly grisly end. It meant that you and your companions would be exposed in the arena to a variety of wild and ferocious animals such as leopards and boars and, yes, lions. And you were required to fight to save your life. So I feel that, Christians are being punished in America by the political left, who are, they say, I guess are they atheists or are they secular humanists? They're secular for sure. They're anti-Christians. They're being persecuted by the political left. Trump is being persecuted by the political left, and Trump supporters. You see that with the J6 business. Also, Biden has weaponized the DOJ. We see that with the case in New York with Judge Engoron and Letitia James. That judgment, it's the more Trump is persecuted, the more popular he becomes. The notion that this judge had the audacity where there's no evidence of anyone being harmed, they are going off the charts. They are not even considered. This is a judge, folks. Okay. So this lets you know that our judicial system has completely been bastardized. Okay. It's no longer about justice. It's about political animus. It's about hate for the defendant, hate for your the person you're accusing, hate for the personal animus, personal feelings. It's not about the law any longer. The idea that this judge Engoron in New York is actually a judge who took an oath to follow the law is absurd. This is all personal to him. And let me tell you something about these Trump haters. There's nothing. They are contemptible. There is nothing beneath them. They have decided to hate Trump no matter what. They do not care. And they have no principles. They have no We know this. Okay, I'm preaching to my listeners who are the choir. They have no standards. They have no integrity. There's nothing beneath them. They have no ethics. We saw that what was it? How much? More than $350 million he was fined. And then they do not care if Trump expires. They do not care if he's bankrupt. They don't care about his family. And we know why. Because they know what Trump is going to do. And I want to talk about this also. You know, I have to talk about Fani Willis because that was the most embarrassing display. Was that black girl magic? I don't think so. But they think it's black girl magic because a lot of black Americans, including Joanne Reed, and a lot of white liberals, including Barbara Streisand, felt that she was justified in defending herself in that way, in the way that she did defend herself. One can defend themselves without being defensive. This woman, it's hard to believe that she's even a lawyer. There was no professionalism whatsoever. It was very personal for her. She was very arrogant. Excuse me. She had hubris. This woman, she didn't even have respect she doesn't have respect for herself, okay? You respect others when you respect yourself. You understand others when you understand yourself. She doesn't understand herself, so she can't understand other people's motivations. She doesn't understand herself, so she has no idea who Trump is as a person. And this is what I find with with all of these Trump haters. I hear them calling into Washington Journal. They lack self-awareness. Fani Willis obviously lacks self-awareness, or she wouldn't walk into the courtroom, particularly with that dress on. You'd think she would have, being an officer of the court, being a DA, this is the district attorney for Fulton County, being a public official. You would think she would have more respect for the court of law, for a courtroom, that she would come in more professionally, looking at least nice, in a nice suit, looking attractive, looking well-groomed. She would have a better attitude. She would sit up and be attentive. But she started out, I was listening to Jason Whitlock. It was like he characterized Fanny's decorum as if she was in a beauty salon gossiping with her girlfriends. It was on that level. No respect for the fact and now you can't trust anything. And this judge was so intimidated by her. I don't know if he was intimidated by her. I hear that he worked as her subordinate with her. She was his supervisor in some capacity for 4 years. So I don't know if he was intimidated by her, if he was allowing her to show her true cards, letting her, because there's no way that a judge would allow a witness on the stand to go off like that. Personally attacking the attorney that is questioning them, calling them a liar. You're a liar. It was so personal. It was embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed. I'm also embarrassed for Letitia James. They all have the same demeanor. Okay. And this is where we are. Let me tell you, this is an example of why the Democratic Party has destroyed Black America, because this is the level that is considered acceptable for professional women. Okay. And we know, okay, I've said this before, that most people are average. Okay. That means they're C, D, F. They're average and below. That's the majority of people. Now, the folks that get A and B grades are supposed to be above average. We assume that people that go to law school are above average. So I'm assuming the fact that Fanny could answer the questions, and graduate from law school and pass the bar and work as a D, I'm assuming she is above average. I'm assuming. So there's something else going on. I think it has to do with an emotional maturity. I think we're talking about emotional intelligence here. I think we're talking about someone who is very insecure. Now she had her daddy, so I don't know why she was insecure, because I always take the position that if someone is raised with a father, you're not raised insecure because your daddy loves you and that's sufficient for you to go through life feeling loved. And when you feel loved, you're secure. So she had her daddy, so I don't know. But hey, you know what? He said he traveled a lot, so maybe he wasn't around. I don't know. But there's something going on there where she has this insecurity, and she's very defensive, and she's actually a bigot. Okay? This is all about, for her, for most blacks, okay, and you realize that when you look on X and you see how they're responding to Fannie Willis. This is the majority of blacks, particularly Joanne Reed and also Barbara Streisand. I mentioned that. White liberals, okay, liberals, the political left, Democrat voters, Trump haters. These people will defend that behavior. Now, for whites, I think that's like, white liberals, I think that's like the soft bigotry of low expectations. They think that, well, blacks can't do this is the best they can do, and I'm going to defend them because they're on my side, they're hating Trump. But this is the best, you can't expect black excellence from black folks because they're not capable of it. So that she was entitled to defend herself and be offended. So white liberals, I think they have this bigotry towards black Democrats. They think blacks can't be excellent like a Candace Owens. You see, I think black conservatives rise to the level of excellence because they have substance there. They have values, they have integrity, and they have class. You look at Candace Owens' videos, and she conduct herself with class. But you look at Fannie Willis, this is like a sloppy woman. She's sloppy. She walked in sloppy. She should have dressed better than what she should have had on a suit, a jacket, or something to look more professional. She didn't look professional at all. Her body language, she was all slumped over in the chair. And Letitia James is the same way. They're not ladylike. They're masculine. They're alpha females, if that's such a thing. They're masculine energy. You heard Fannie said, Nathan Wade is a Southern gentleman, but, I had choice words. That's not what I am. This is like, what? What? And then she said something to the effect that, one of the lawyer asked her, the lawyer for Trump asked her, were you in contact with Nathan Wade in 2020? She said, we had limited contact. The question was either yes or no. It was a direct, simple question. Were you in contact with Nathan Wade? She said, we had limited contact because, he had cancer and he said, the lawyer then said, listen, I just asked you a simple question. I'm asking you, did you have contact with Nathan Wade? It's not convoluted. It's a simple yes or no. Well, we had limited contact, but he had cancer. And so, and then she says, I don't want to emasculate a black man. If you know what I mean. In other words, she was saying that she was interpreting, did you have contact with Nathan Wade to mean, were you sexually involved with Nathan Wade? That's not how the attorney meant it. So she was misinterpreting what the attorney asked her. So what is that about? She is very defensive. And this is an emotional issue, a psychological issue. This is a woman who is very insecure, who's put in a position where she should not be, a leadership position. She does not deserve to be in that leadership position, and she's constantly overcompensating. And this is why I say women, because we can go and look at Nikki Haley. We can look at Hillary Clinton. We can look at Kamala Harris. We can look at all these women. And Dennis Prager talks about this, how we got into this whole transgender business. All these women that are doing inappropriate things to our culture. They're not having a positive impact on our culture. They're having a negative influence. Our culture is going down the tubes because of women. Left-leaning women, not conservative women, because conservative women have conservative values. And conservative values are what? Traditional family. Husband, wife, married with children. Conserving your money. This is the other thing. You see how flashy, Fanny's she's like this boss lady that stacks all this cash in her house. And did you hear how she the G, the G, she's this ghetto fabulous, and she's not fabulous. Ghetto fabulous is when they dress like the rappers or something, they have flashy jewelry and all. She's ghetto though. Ghetto. And why? Why? Her father said he had a residency at Harvard. Her father's a lawyer. He said he had a residency at Harvard when Fanny was 3 years old. So you would assume that she was around educated people. So I can't explain what it is that she goes to this low grade, low class, ghetto kind of masculine energy thing. And the other woman, Letitia James, is the same. They're overcompensating instead of being ladylike. They're being like men. And I guess Hillary Clinton does the same thing, kind of being alpha, masculine. It's just, I really feel like women really shouldn't be in politics. They really, it just didn't work out well. Matriarchy has failed. Women should be at home baking. They should be at home raising children. They shouldn't be in the public arena. Not to this extent, because they're damaging our culture. I feel very strongly about it. We see the evidence. And you see the children. You see Fanny was divorced. They can't stay married. They get divorced. They raise the kids by themselves. They have to bring home the bacon. She's probably exhausted. That's why she can't keep her looks together. She can't keep herself looking nice and ladylike and attractive, because she's exhausted running that show, running that DA's office. And let me tell you, Fulton County is the crime level, and yet she's focused on Trump, and the case that she's focused on isn't any good. I mean, I can't express enough how embarrassing these two black women, Letitia James and Fannie Willis, are for me. It's utterly embarrassing. And this is the example that younger black women see as a professional. It's embarrassing. And the idea that liberal white women will defend it, and black women, professional black women like Joanne Reed, who graduated from Harvard, I can't understand how they can defend this. The fact they just hate Trump so much they don't care. They just have to take the position that they're defending anything that goes against anyone against Trump is a good thing. Now, the truckers for Trump are supposedly, and it's going to start tomorrow, truckers for Trump are going to be boycotting deliveries to New York City. And I hope this goes off well. I hope it's quite significant. I hope it's dramatic. Something needs to be done. I would like to see Republican attorney generals, Republican DAs going against Biden, weaponizing their departments against Biden. We see that they impeached Mayorkas in the House, but it's going to go to the Senate. And in fact, I heard Ted Cruz said that Chuck Schumer is not even going to bring it up for a vote. The Democrat Party, they have listen, these folks have no respect for the American people. They have no respect for the system whatsoever. And everything they accuse Trump of and Trump supporters are, that's what they're doing. They're a threat to democracy, you see. But they say that Trump supporters are a threat to democracy, but Biden supporters are the ones that are a threat to democracy, trying to keep Trump off the ballot. Voting for who we want, that's democracy. Trying to interfere with the election by bringing all these court cases, lawfare against Trump. That's the threat to democracy, because these are woke court cases. They're not legitimate court cases. They find some obscure law or something to apply against him to bring in these charges. The one in New York with that Judge Egeron there's nothing there. You must have damages in a lawsuit. Who was damaged in that matter in New York City? Who was damaged with Trump overinflating his assets, his real estates, his business holding, which he did not do, because when you get a loan, the bank sends out an independent appraiser to assess the value. So I don't know what the banks would not have given him a loan unless they sent out an independent appraiser. And they were paid back those loans. So who was the damage? You must have a party who is aggrieved to have a lawsuit. So who was aggrieved? And I guess you're saying the state of New York or the city of New York was aggrieved by Trump's business, overstating his business. Well, you know what's going to happen now, right? And the judge of New York, the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, came out and said, this is what she said, something to the effect that, other businesses should not worry. You will not be subject to this treatment which Trump received. So they're letting you know that this was a personal vendetta against Trump. It was personal. It was not. Justice is supposed to be blind. There was who was the aggrieved? It's just going overboard. So I went over Quo Vadis. I also saw, what other movie I wanted to mention that the Obama CIA director, this is what's come out. This is most fascinating. That Russian collusion business, and no one is ever held accountable. And this is what is bothersome. No one is ever held accountable. Obama's CIA director, Brennan, targeted 26 Trump associates to what is the word I'm looking for? What is that word where it's called? And what is it? Not entrapment. To try to entrap them into a crime. And this is the whole thing that the whole Russia collusion was based on, entrapping Trump's associates. So everything about Russian collusion was a lie, was a falsification, was a fabrication, was a fantasy made up by the Obama administration. And we spent 3 years on that, and all that permeated from that, all the money, it was all a lie. The media knew it. They received, New York Times or Washington Post received rewards. They received recognition, accolades for them reporting on a lie. People have to be held accountable, folks. This is ridiculous. Trump must get in 2024 and hold people accountable. We've got a lot to do. And this is the question I want to leave you folks when you call and answer this question. Assuming Trump wins in 2024, do you think he will be able to deport 9 to 10, 11 million illegal aliens? That's the question on the table. This is the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells, and we'll be right back. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells. So the 7 deadly sins are envy, gluttony, greed, avarice, lust, pride, sloth, and wrath. Trump haters definitely have wrath because they hate Trump so much, so bad that they're going crazy. They're willing to do anything. There's nothing beneath them. They hate Trump they're committing a sin, hating Trump so much. Judge Erdogan is an example of hate. That's why the Governor Kathy Hochul said that don't worry, developers in New York City, you won't be targeted like Trump for valuations. You won't be targeted for Trump for real estate valuations like Trump. Because we hate Trump so much. We have wrath, hate for Trump so much. Fannie Willis hates Trump so much, okay, that she's willing to lie about, and they're making money on the back end off of this case. They went on 5 vacations in 7 months, her and her guy. She's committing adultery. That's a sin. She's taking another woman's man. He's still married. And you saw how he characterized that. He said, our marriage was irretrievably broken. But they were still officially married. He's still married. And Fannie Willis admitted she's having an affair with a married man, okay? She went inside Martin Luther King's church and admitted to having an affair with a married man. That's adult. This is a sin, okay? This is why we must all go back to biblical principles, because we are now it's sinking fast into Sodom and Gomorrah, bringing all this transgender crap, okay, and having these children being designated as transgender at 5 years old or 4 years old. They even have a program on TLC where the kid is transgender, okay? They're making this stuff glamorous and in vogue. It all started with Bruce Jenner. We are in Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm not kidding. This is all sin. Hey, Fannie Willis didn't even have respect enough for herself to not admit the way she talked like a guy, like a dude, okay, who's out here sexing up. And her dad even admits she has another guy living off of her, some guy who was a DJ or something like that. They weren't even ashamed. She should be ashamed that she's like this woman out here acting like a dude, okay, having relations with married men. She's not even embarrassed. She has no humility. She has such arrogance and pride. These are sins, okay? She's not ladylike at all. Okay, and this is embarrassing. And for Joanne Reed and Barbara Streisand to talk about like it's okay. These women aren't women. They're not honest. They have no integrity. They have no ethics. It's embarrassing. There must be values and standards and morals for a society to continue to be free and prosperous. And all these liberals have destroyed American society. And this is how you end up with a president who is a mere tool and selling out America to our enemies. This is how you end up, and then you have that Representative James Clyburn. He's disgusting. I cannot stand these people. They don't give a darn about anything except their own self-aggrandizement. They don't care about America at all. They don't care what happens to the American citizens. They don't care what happens to America. They're all about greed and lust and power for themselves and nothing more, nothing less. Okay, let's take a message. Let's take a call now from, I'm just so angry with these people, okay? You have no idea. I'm so embarrassed. And younger black women have no idea. They think it's cool to act like a masculine slut, okay? They think it's cool to have sex with a married man and to be sexing other guys and have guys living off of you. They think that's cool. This is what they're learning from this professional black women, that it's okay, and it's okay to act like that in a courtroom, on a witness stand. To talk like that and to be all ghetto. I stack up all this cash. I keep all this cash in my house and, it's a G. What kind of professional woman would refer to $1,000 as a G? Street language, okay? They think they're bringing the streets. They're telling us being street is cool and in vogue and kosher. Bringing the streets into the courtroom is okay. It's just embarrassing. Okay, let's take a call now from Raul. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Hi, Kathleen. I admire your passion. You love this country, and you love decorum. You love respect in a courtroom. You're a lady. These are, the late Minister Malcolm X, Malik Al-Shabazz. He referred to these people. You notice how they're fronting the Democrat Party, the party of slavery is fronting their actions with black folks. They got black people, black DAs, going after Trump, and that's how disgraceful they are. He referred to them as house Negroes, the ones who appeased the slave master, who is Joe Biden. See, that's what's going on here. Now, if you could do me a favor, you want to look at something that's fascinating, Kathleen, go on Google and put in immigration history. That's a website, and it says Operation Wetback, 1953 to 1954, where the Eisenhower administration deported 1.1 million illegal migrants from the country because they called it an invasion then. Can you believe this?
Right.
And they deported. So it can be done.
Well, no, we've got more than 1.5 million. He got 8 to 9 to 10 million, and not only that, Trump is going to be facing so much opposition from the left, the AOCs and the whoever Ilhan Umar and Black Lives Matter and Antifa. It's going to be the New York Times and the Washington Post. There's going to be so much opposition to him deporting these people, you see, and they're going to be out rioting in the streets. But
folks, right now the Democrats are fed up. They're starting. No,
they're trying to. The Democrat politicians are trying to get amnesty for these folks. Okay.
See, that's going to be a problem right there. But see, I've heard now Democrats are starting to see the light. They're starting to say this is insanity.
Well, Democrat voters are, but not the BLM and the Antifa and the AOC and these.
I know. Well,
the Soros-backed groups are going to come out and riot. Protest.
They're members of the Democratic Socialists of America. You're never going to convince them that this is a bad idea to have millions of people clamoring, just bum rushing our border. Now,
let me also mention that I heard a black woman call into Washington Journal, and she was complaining. She said Trump said he's going to go door to door, knocking on doors, looking for these illegal aliens. How is he ever going to find 9 to 10 million illegal aliens? Where will they be located? How is he going to find them?
Right. Well, there's ways that it could be done, but that's what we have to. When we cross that bridge, he's got to get in the White House first.
Right.
But see, I was doing a little research on this judge. Do you know that he got into office unopposed back in 2015? He's going to be in there for 14 years.
Which judge? Edgerton?
Right midstream. I'm sorry?
The one in New York City or the one in Atlanta?
Yeah, Engoron. Yeah, the judge, the one who ruled against. I mean, this dictator, ruling against Trump on this business stuff. This is an embarrassment.
It's embarrassing. And, let's hope this trunkers for Trump. They're going to boycott New York City. He said that he evaluated Mar-a-Lago for $18 million, and I heard that there's property for sale now down the street from Mar-a-Lago for $200 million.
Right. See, it's all a fraud. It's all. They're just going after the president. They're trying to get him convicted of something. That's what this whole thing's about. Now, can I say one last thing? What happened here with Mayorkas is I'm just furious at the Republicans. Kathleen, you know better than I do that the Republicans can never stay on the same page. They can never be united. What I'm disgusted about is that, first of all, they should be impeaching the president, not Mayorkas, because he's taking direction from President Biden. But did you know there was 3 nay votes against.
Right. Well, because you have the Uniparty, you see. So we have rhinos.
Right.
It's the Uniparty, and therefore this funding of Ukraine.
Right.
That's another thing I want to talk about. How this funding for Ukraine is diabolical because Ukraine is finished. It's over. But Ukraine is a money laundering scheme, and there's biolabs. There's some really diabolical stuff going on, and they've been trying to deal with Ukraine since the Obama administration. So this is diabolical. Everything is diabolical at this point.
Well, you know, Kathleen, the president, Biden and his son were involved. You know that infamous phone call between the president and the president of Ukraine, you know, that got him in the hot water. You know, that the Biden administration has been in bed with these people. That's why I don't trust sending them any money, because it seems like it's a payback.
There's a money laundering scheme. Let's take a next call. Thanks, Raul. Okay, Rick. Hi, Rick. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Hey, good morning, Miss Kathleen. How you doing? Good evening.
Yeah, hi.
Wow, you know what? What do you think about the DA?
I know, no. Don't start a question with what do you think. You tell me what you think. I just did 30 minutes of what I think. Now you tell me what you think.
You know what? Here's what it is. I truly believe that they use all these black politicians, these DEAs, for destruction. Like, for example, you remember when they nominated, the black Supreme Court Justice,
Clarence Thomas?
Ketanji Jackson.
Oh, Ketanji.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. And the first vote she had was abortion, destruction. And she cast a vote for it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No. But I do think that yes, black Americans have been rolling with the Democratic Party for 6 decades. So it's to be expected that they're black professional Democrats. Yes, that they're Marxists, that they're communists, that they're bent. They don't care. You see that Barbara Lee is wanting the minimum wage to be $50 an hour. These are Marxists. And Fannie Willis's dad was a Black Panther. Okay, these people believe socialism, communism is the way to go. They believe that. They were raised with that. I took that stuff in college, communism, Marxism. I was a political science major. I took those courses. And then you look at the results and you say, well, it's not working. I don't think so. And so then I started taking Hillsdale College free online courses, and you learn differently how it doesn't work. Every black American should know that the Democratic Party is a losing proposition, because look where black America is now, facing $0 million wealth by 2053. How come they never discuss data. You go from being 87% two-parent families in the 1930s to only 25% two-parent families today, and you don't know that's because of the Democratic Party and the values of the Democratic Party. You can't figure that out as a black American. Are you that dense or slow? They don't know any data. They're just living their lives. They're walking like zombies through life. They don't know.
And, you know, that's so sad, Kathleen. And it seems like we don't research anything. We don't hear from CNN or mainstream media. We will not go research nothing, and that's really sad.
Okay, sad. It's sad. Okay, thank you, Rick. Let me go to the next call. Hi, Antoinette. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Kathleen, I have to say I am so proud of you. I've never been so disgusted with how women are acting these last couple of decades, quite frankly. Being an American first, but Latino second, Mayorkas. I'm totally embarrassed by that man. He needed to be impeached. Talk about criminal actions that he has taken place, ignoring our Constitution of the United States. AOC, an embarrassment. These people are un-American. And for me as a Latina, but as an American first, I have been so embarrassed, so disgusted, but I'm so happy that you brought this out. I mean, my great niece is also black as well as Hispanic, and her mom is an exceptional attorney, and for my niece, she's 13, to see this. And as you said, no values the integrity of women, and in considering all what I do in rallying in front of abortion clinics, all the black babies that have been aborted, and it's about 19 million, but all the illegals that us as Latinos that we hate this and are embarrassed, it's more like 20 million that have crossed the border illegally. But I want to thank you for expressing what you have. Women, wake up. God needs to be in your heart. Values need to be in your heart. And this is disgusting how women have been acting these last couple of decades.
Okay, Antoinette, let me take I have a lot of calls. Let me take another call. Thank you, Antoinette. Okay, Linda, welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Yeah, regarding, Trump, I think that, Trump will be able to deport all these illegal aliens if he's got the right staff to do it. And I also heard that sometime this week, a woman took in an illegal alien. I don't know what state.
That was in Massachusetts, in Boston. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Can you imagine taking in an illegal alien? You don't know who these people are. You don't know who they are. And once you get someone in your house, it's hard to get them out. She'll never be able to. If something, people don't get along. Okay, you have these strangers in your house. You know they're going to fall out eventually. She's going to do something they're going to do something that doesn't please the other. Right? They're going to fall out. Then she won't be able to get them out the house.
Yeah, they're going to claim they have a right to stay there.
Right.
And, also, I heard that George Soros bought out KNX, KCBS,
right,
K-Earth, All News Radio, and in New York, WCBS.
Right. George Soros is destroying America. Listen, Soros has destroyed other countries, so he knows how to destroy a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that he's destroying America. We're witnessing the destruction of America. That's what the managed decline. Biden is overlooking the managed decline of America. He sold out. Listen, you see what happened. Okay, I didn't talk about Navalny dying in Russia. That's a CIA operation, I would assume. They're just wanting to get more. The timing. They want more funding for Ukraine. That's happening. We can't trust anything. The CIA is all over everything. Nothing can be trusted. Nothing.
But you know something?
What?
I think it would be better if Trump runs against Biden than someone like Michelle Obama.
Well, no, Michelle's not going to run. Michelle's not going to run.
Because I'm just saying, for example, because right now people are saying, Biden's unfit, he's too old. And so, let's say Biden steps out and any of them, anyone younger takes over and runs against Trump, they'll be saying, Trump's too old to be president.
I don't think Trump's support is growing day by day because now people are seeing its persecution, particularly with this New York verdict.
I know, but there would be people that would believe, what these Democrats were saying.
Well, you're always going to have people believe it, but you're always going to have always going to have a lot of people that believe, half basically. But I think more and more Trump's popularity is growing with each persecution because it's so obvious, particularly what happened in New York with that valuation thing, valuing $355 million plus. Him and his son, $355 million plus the woman with E.G. Carroll thing, $89-90 million. Oh my God! Let's take a call now from Carlos. Hi, Carlos. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Well, good evening. I'm glad you brought up that issue of that lady walking in sloppily into the court system, that lawyer.
Yeah.
Because you see, liberalism has imposed a gradual erosion of standards.
Yes.
Collapse of the law, and you can see it. Back in my day in the 60s, 70s, 80s, people used to go to work with a coat and tie. I used to wear a coat and tie.
Right.
Now people work walk in sloppily,
Right.
with, in these big corporations. That's a degradation of standards, and that intertwines with Aleister Crowley's "Do what thou wilt will be the law." Did you ever hear of Aleister Crowley?
No.
He used to call himself the Beast. He was part of the Golden Dawn Society, and basically the whole thing was do whatever you want.
Right.
There is no law. There are no standards.
Right.
And of course, when you do whatever you want, what happens in a society?
It's like anarchy. You see, and Fanny's mannerisms and hand language and gestures and sloppily. This is the DA. Instead of sitting upright, throwing up the papers and you lie and are you crazy? And the idea that the judge allowed that. I hope hey, if they don't dismiss this case, something needs to be done. No kidding. The people need to do something.
And the justice system is controlled by liberalism, which is there's no law, no standards. It's a diabolical Aleister Crowley, and look him up. Aleister Crowley, liberal, diabolical system. Okay, the liberal system is nothing but satanic.
Yeah, it's like a den of inequity. You see how Fanny epitomizes everything that is debauchery. Is just degradation, sloppy, the 7 deadly sins: wrath, hating, animus towards Trump, hating white people. Just, oh my God, it's disgusting. The 7 deadly sins. Fannie Willis is a walking sin, okay? Anyway, this is the Naked Truth Report, and I'll be back next week. Thanks, guys. Let's hope Trump is going to win. We know he's going to win South Carolina. Nikki Haley is another walking sin, okay? We'll be back next week.
But now they only block the sun.
This program was sponsored by Numbers USA.
Numbers USA is the largest grassroots advocacy organization in the United States, with over 8 million members and supporters. Numbers USA's sole focus is immigration, and it believes better immigration policy is both needed and possible. Founded solely by author Roy Beck in 1996 to champion the recommendations of the National Commission on Immigration, chaired by civil rights icon Barbara Jordan. In his latest book, Back of the Hiring Line, Roy Beck clearly shows how high immigration has, in wave after wave, adversely and disproportionately impacted Black American jobs and wealth. Today, America is faced with an unprecedented influx of illegal immigrants flooding into our country by the millions. This influx disproportionately impacts Black Americans, as well as first-generation Latino Americans and legal immigrants lawfully pursuing naturalization. Numbers USA continues to advocate for sensible immigration policies that ensures American safety, promotes economic fairness, while protecting the environment and quality of life. To get a copy of Roy's book, Back of the Hiring Line, visit backofthehiringline.com or on Amazon and learn more about Numbers USA. Take action and get involved now by logging on to numbersusa.com. That's numbersusa.com.